What's up, fellas? Had a loyal patron supporter that wanted to know, how do women test beta male providers? All right, so basically what he's asking in this question, guys, is he wants to know how to fuck women that are looking for providers. All right, like I told you guys more than once, we fuck them hoes too, okay? And so when you trying to fuck a beta male provider, they do test you differently. So like when a girl is seeking for intrinsic value in you, all right, strength, she's looking for an alpha male, all right. What she does is she tests your confidence, right? A woman who's testing you for to be a beta male provider, they testing different. So first of all, guys, you need to understand, you only gonna fuck amateur, wannabe, beta male provider seekers. That's them the only ones that us red pill brothers are gonna fuck. All right, if you're a guy and you really a wolf in sheep's clothing, you won't get the experienced women. And the reason that is, guys, is usually they've been got before. Okay, they've ran into a stunner that he looked like he gonna give you the world, and you fucked him a couple of times, and then as soon as you ask him for something, he out of there. Okay, guys, so you won't fuck those, and you usually can tell those guys is because, so in other words, those women now, they take it from the mindset of, you prove yourself, then I prove myself. The amateur girls are, I'll prove myself, and then hopefully you'll prove yourself. So you're not gonna fuck them guys. Okay, period. And when I ran into those women, what you'll notice is everything is too fast. It's not that you're moving too fast, and they really not open to being seduced. So say you got her back at your crib, y'all second time hanging out or whatever, and she won't even let you make it to second base. That's because you ain't spent no fucking money yet. That's what that's about. And these women, usually nice dates and shit is not, like a nice dinner or something won't work for them. They don't count that you just spent $200 on a fucking date. Usually they count shit that's directly to them, like gifts or direct money. Now, I'm not talking about the women who are just looking for a man that can provide stability. Like, say she got her own money and she just want a man that can match her. I'm not taking it from them. I'm talking about the women who are looking, the real beta male provider seekers. You got some women that they ain't really want nothing from you. They just want you to have your shit together, and those are fine. But you also have your other ones that they could have their shit together, but they want more of your shit. And those are the ones that, from my experience, you won't get. They won't let you make it to second base. And so usually when I see that, I keep it moving real quickly because I know it's virtually impossible without me giving first. Okay, guys? So we mainly going to be focusing on the amateurs. Those are the only ones that you're really going to get. Okay, guys? The experienced ones, they usually know that if they encounter a stunner, they usually know that they can run him off by asking for $200 or $300. Like if a woman is experienced, she knows that if she asks you for something, that'll usually run you off. So that's about the only test that they experience. And for you guys that go, because I know what you're thinking right now. Okay, so if I pass that test, I'll fuck. Not all the time. Not all the time. A lot of these women have a certain spending requirement before they even consider it. So it's still hit or miss. You never know what they're gonna be. You gave her $200 or $300, and then she sit here thinking like, okay, but it ain't 3,000. You guys understand? Sometimes you could spend 3,000, and she still decide nope. So it's like you got to give her the world, And so it's not even. Don't even think like, okay, if I give her this $200 or $300, and the reason I say that because I know some of you guys over here are successful. I know some of you guys are struggling and using $200-$300. But you guys got to understand, I got some guys over here that are making money, 150, 200 grand a year. So they might think, okay, $200, $300 is shit. What I'm telling you is there still ain't no guarantees. That's what I'm saying. So don't do that. Okay, guys. So really what we're talking about here is the amateur ones. Now, the amateur ones, what I've encountered with them is is that they typically will ask hypergamous questions, usually on the first date. That's what I've seen. Sometimes even over the phone. And so the biggest one that I'm encountering these days when I run into women who are looking for beta male providers is that they're usually asking, do you like to travel? That's the question now that's the popular. Social media has made traveling the thing. Back in the day when I was growing up, 20, 21 years old, 22 years old, dating, traveling was not a big thing. Now with social media, everything is about traveling. So usually you will see or hear a woman ask you about traveling. So for like all you guys over here that like I tell you, we fuck them hoes too and want to use women hypergamous nature against them. One of the best things you could put on social media these days, all right, these days, is you traveling, living a social life of abundance, hobbies, and your purpose. I am telling you right now, if you do those three things, you will be using a lot of women hypergamous. Guy just asked me the other day about, he said he on Tinder and he don't get a lot of response back. Shit, put a couple of pictures of you traveling out of the country. Put one picture with your ass in Brazil and another one with you fucking in Colombia and another one with you in Hawaii, and I guarantee you get some responses back. That's the number one thing that's going on right now. The traveling. Traveling used to be like a vacation thing. Traveling now has turned into social status. Traveling now, thanks to social media, it has replaced, back in the day, hypergamous woman would ask you what kind of car you drive. I know women don't even ask you that bullshit no more because cars don't even matter no more, right? And most guys go out and get a car that they can't afford on credit. So women know that just because a guy drives a nice car really don't mean it's adequate to his financial situation. See, women actually have adapted to the stunners. Women have learned that a lot of men would go out and spend a lot of money peacocking, trying to pretend like they got something, but they ain't really got shit. Also, a lot of women know that a lot of men do have something, but they kind of stingy. They ain't gonna give you shit. They'll rather spend their money peacocking to attract women than to actually give you something. Women have adapted to that. Okay, so back in the day when I was younger, a woman would ask what kind of car you drive or where do you live. All right, and I'm not saying that you probably won't never hear them no more, right? You probably still hear from time to time a woman ask you where you live. In New York City, that was the biggest one right there. New York City, where you live. A woman could get a good idea of your financial situation just from where you tell her you live. All right, so when you say Brooklyn, I used to always, I was in East New York, Brooklyn, right? So all the women would ask me where you live, and I would say Brooklyn. And they would say, what part of Brooklyn? Because Brooklyn got some expensive parts and they got some hood parts. And I used to, I didn't used to say East New York. It's been so damn long. If I'm not mistaken, I think I used to say Starrett City. Because I think I used to say Starrett City. I can't remember. It's been so goddamn long. It's been, I think that was Starrett City right next to East New York. But Starrett City didn't have that stigma of East New York. Even though they pretty much was the same economic wise, the perception, like most of you guys have heard of East New York, you haven't heard of Starrett City. And that's because East New York is notorious with crime and poverty, right? And Starrett City, even though it's right fucking next to East New York, right? I mean, it's right next to it, right? It didn't carry the stigma of fucking East New York. So I used to tell the bitch, I was right on the border of it, right? Like literally I could claim Starrett City, literally. Like, if you crossed over Linden Boulevard, you in Starrett City, right? But so I never told girls that I stayed in East New York because I knew this, even though it had been cleaned up and all this and other shit, East New York is a shell of what it used to be in the 80s and 90s. You can just check the crime statistics on Google and you will see that the crime statistics in East New York then went down dramatically from the 80s. But so that was the ones that you used to hear. Now that social media has exploded, the traveling. Where do you like to travel? Yes, I like to travel. Where's the last place you traveled to? That's what I've been getting a lot. So, any of you guys that are trying to get with beta women who are seeking beta male providers, and you like, we fuck them hoes too. Like, I never tell you, we fuck them hoes too. But if y'all guys wondering what I've been telling girls when, and it's cost me ass. I will be honest with you, right? It's cost me ass. I've been telling women I've been too busy building my security company, right? And that answer has cost me ass. I'll be quite frankly with you, it has cost me ass. If women that I've talked to, if I would have been able to tell them that, oh yeah, I went to Paris last year and I went to Australia last year, I guarantee you I probably would have fucked them. The fact that I was like, oh, I've been building my security company for the last 4 or 5 years or whatever. I really haven't had time to travel, but I look to get into it. You know, I could just literally see the life. Or if I'm talking to them on the phone, hear the life just go out of them. Okay, because it's like the traveling thing is the big thing right now. So it's no longer the car or where you live. It's primarily traveling. Okay, guys? So for all my guys that want to fuck the beta male providers that's going on today, and listen, guys, understand, we ain't over here looking for love. So I get the guys who like, I want to fuck them hoes too. The traveling thing is the new thing. Also, they ask you, how long was your last relationship? Now, the reason why they ask you this, y'all guys got to understand this, that women who are seeking beta male providers, they understand that guys who stunt, so to speak, what they usually do is, and I'm a perfect example of this back in the day, is that they'll fuck, and when it's time for them to give, they usually ditch. Okay, that's the way, that's how the stunners work, right? We stunt, we fuck, and then when it's time for us to, you know, pay our dues, so to speak, we like, okay, it's time to put out of there. All right, so when you fuck these amateur girls who don't know no better, what you'll usually come up with is they'll fucking suck a couple of times before they'll ask you for something. So guys like that who are stunners, what they'll do is they'll jump from relationship, they just date. They really don't do relationship, they just jump around. So by her asking you your last relationship, she knows what kind of provider you are. Okay, and I'm gonna leave it up to y'all guys to answer that the way you want to, but I'm just letting you know that if you're a guy and you ain't been in a relationship in 8 years, that a woman who's seasoned, who's been around the game a little bit, knows that this is a typical guy that gets what he wants and he's out of there. Okay, guys, so you guys need to understand that. So those are the two, I wouldn't really say they test, they just really two questions women give you. Y'all guys got to understand that the day of clothes and all that shit, why that might attract a woman who's seeking a beta male provider, your car, why that might attract a woman who's seeking a beta male provider, she still knows that you might be broke or stingy. So those questions, and you won't fuck a professional beta male provider. You won't. Don't even try to waste your time. They not gonna give you nothing until you spent, and it's not gonna be one time. So if you think that if I just give her this $300 next time, no. It usually she's gonna make you spend a certain amount, and still some of the real ones, guys, they have the mindset that if I do give him what he want, then he just gonna stop giving. So it's a lose-lose, because even if you give, she think like, well, he's only giving me this because he wants something. So if I give him that, then he gonna stop giving. So it's best to string him along as long as I possibly can until she decides to ghost you when you coming on too strong about it. Do y'all guys understand that? So like the same way a stunner or pull out, when a girl start asking him for something after he done fucked a couple times, usually a girl like this who's been around the game, usually when this guy starts requesting sex too hard after he done gave, she'll usually ghost him. That's the way it goes, guys. So when you run into those type of girls, just, hey, it's a loss, keep it moving, okay? When you run into the little amateurs, they will ask you those questions about when do you travel, when's the last time you travel, how often do you travel, and they're also, another thing also, guys, this is just them doing a background check, they'll check out your social media. So one thing y'all guys are also, and I'm glad I thought about this, one thing y'all guys are also notice that when you run into these women who are seeking beta male providers, they always want to know your social media, particularly Instagram. Do y'all guys ever figured out why they so interested in your Instagram? They can find out your true financial status from your Instagram. Typically. Okay, your status in general, how many followers you got, what kind of pics you taking. If you somebody on Instagram with 17 followers and every picture is you with a selfie and your picture of your dog who died 3 years ago, they're gonna tell her everything she needs to know about your social status and probably your financial status. But on the other hand, if you're a guy on Instagram, you got 1,000 followers, 1,500 followers, because I'm speaking on the average guy. I know the average guy ain't fucking The Rock, you know. So average guy, average Joe just going on the street, you got fucking 1,000 subscribers, 1,500 subscribers. You doing fucking damn good, right? So if you got that, plus you got interesting pics that show you live social life of abundance, she can come to a good conclusion of, you know, what you working with. Okay, guys? So that's another thing. They love to ask you for your social media. I always tell girls I don't do social media. For obvious reasons, right? Come on in and see me doing some dig them down and talking to the side of the road, not before I fuck. No. I always tell girls everything they need to know about me after I don't fuck. The reason for all you guys wondering why I do that is because if they watch my videos before I fuck, what they'll do is they'll just be difficult. Y'all guys understand that? They'll just be difficult. Oh, so this is what he gonna try to do. He gonna try to pull back. He gonna try to not call me for a week and all this. So they'll just be trying to be difficult for no fucking reason just because they watch the videos. That's why I always wait till they fuck and then I show them. Okay, guys, so that's how I handle that. All right, guys, so that's what you can expect if you enter my guys over here specifically. Well, I don't want to say specifically. If you just so happen to run into a woman that you know is looking for a beta male provider, that's the kind of question she gonna ask you. All right, I'll get back with you.